Bank of Japan, they're keeping their rates steady. They're leading the yen to tumble even further. So how much longer can Japan take the hit from this weakening yen?
So every time when you ask the question and people would tell you, or analysts would be telling me that very shortly, but how shortly it would be, we don't have an idea. Because if we look at the Japanese yen right now, they're under tremendous downward pressure. For one thing, we have the Federal Reserve gradually going back to its hawkish tone. That's not helpful in terms of the yen strengthness. In the same time, we also have the U.S. rising treasury yields, and the interest rate differential between the U.S. and Japanese currency and Japanese economy is certainly not helping the Japanese yen. That's why we are having BOJ governor this morning warning that the weak yen could cause rising risks in the country, especially overshooting prices as a whole. And in the meantime, these factors could actually put Japanese authorities in terms of BOJ and also Ministry of Finance into a dilemma between supporting Japanese growth as well as stabilizing the yen. And don't forget that weaker Japanese yen is also hurting Japanese companies as well. Of course, we've heard the CEOs of Japan Airlines and ANA warning that a weaker yen could hurt their profit margin. In the same time, don't forget, Japan also imports most of its energy products from overseas. So a weaker yen means shrinking profit margin for those companies.
Well, thanks very much, Henry, for that update. And speaking of the weak yen, monthly visitors to Japan hit a record high in March as the yen tumbles, as we've mentioned. Official data shows March visitor numbers crossed the 3 million mark for the first time ever as tourists flocked to Japan to see its famous cherry blossoms. The Japanese yen has fallen sharply to a 34-year low against the US dollar. A positive for visitors, but Japanese consumers are feeling the pinch.
ホテルも高くなってるし、交通費も高いですし、飲食が全般的に高くなっているかなっていう思いますね。外食も結構厳しくなってきてるし、やっぱりその海外の方が安いって言われる値段が僕らにとってはすごい高いので。
今までは年に1回とか行こうと思って行ってたんですけど、コロナが明けてようやく行けると思ったら円安になって、なかなかちょっと厳しいです。
And for more, CNA's Michiyo Ishida joins us now from Tokyo. Mitch, how is Japan tourism benefiting from the weak yen? And I guess, what does that mean for the country's economic growth and development?
Well, as you mentioned, Japan recorded over 3 million inbound tourists in March alone. The most number of visitors came from South Korea, Taiwan, mainland China, and number 4, the United States. Visitors came with their strong U.S. dollars and the strongest in 34 years against the Japanese yen. The Singapore dollar is also at a historic high against the Japanese yen, encouraged many from Singapore to visit. Now, nationwide department stores have seen sales grow 25 months in a row. I've heard that duty-free shopping resulted in the biggest ever since the survey began in 2014. And the tourism agency's latest data from October to December suggests inbound tourists spent 37% more than in 2019. That's before COVID-19 spread. Now, 30 years ago, foreign tourists were hardly visible in Japan. In 2003, Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi started a tourism campaign. In 2019, its economic importance grew to as big as Japan's semicon-related device export. Domestic consumption remained weak on the back of Japan's economic stalemate, a falling and fast-aging population, so tourism became the new growth segment for the Japanese economy.